My name is Anjani B Kuumar and welcome to my channel. In Transformators, we meet some of the most successful people in the corporate world. They have achieved some enormous success in their career, in their lives, and they are the people who have been able to reach the CXO level. They earn an 8-figure rupee salary, and there is so much to learn from their journey. So today, we are going to meet Dr. Rima Ghose Chowdhury. Rima has been a part of my tribe. In fact, she was a part of my team and she has achieved tremendous success in her career, in her life. Today, she heads the human resources function and the CSR function for Datamatics across the world, all locations across the world. And she has been an enormous learner all through her career. She has worked in the capacity of HR leaders for various organizations. And at some point in her career, she also went on to do her doctorate. She did her PhD and she actually taught in one of the business schools also. So her journey has been extremely exciting. There is so much to learn from her. So let's go ahead and meet Dr. Rima Ghose Chowdhury. Hi Rima. Thank you for coming on my channel and being a part of this series called the Transformators. And I'm so happy that you could spend some time out of your busy schedule so that, we can talk about your journey, your leadership journey, and what all you have achieved in your career and what is there for people to learn from this journey.
Thank you so much, boss. It's indeed my privilege and honor to be a part of your channel, because I have always seen you as this very accomplished leader who has done that effortless transition from HR to business to entrepreneurship. So when you invited me for this, it was indeed extremely proud moment for me.
No, that's so nice of you to say that. But I think here you are the guest and the focus is on you. So that's very important. So I think, I was talking to the viewers about your journey, the successes that you have achieved, and you have done so much. So I think it'll be a great idea to just take them through, your success journey. What has made you so successful? What are some of the differentiators which have really helped you in your journey so that, you have achieved what you have achieved today?
Okay, thanks for the question. So, honestly, I do not really think I have really achieved a lot, because it's always that nagging thought in the mind that there's still so much to do, there's still so much to cover.
That's the sign of successful people. So,
yeah, very nice to know that. So I will definitely share my journey, some snippets.
Yeah.
So I have typically, while I have been an engineer MBA, but I am typically that non-IIT, non-IIM, which means that nothing came my way easy. It was a struggle every time to prove myself in every new situation, different situation, and the different industries that I had been a part of. I had hardly repeated, before this stint of mine, I had hardly repeated any industry. It was always a new industry, which meant that it had its own learnings and own contributions and all of that. And I know it wasn't easy, but the challenge kept me going. So if I look at my start, so I started as a trainee production supervisor on the manufacturing shop floor of Reckitt Coleman, now Reckitt Benckiser, manufacturing Dettol and Lysol. And then I realized that post-MBA corporate world is something which probably I would be more successful in. That realization did dawn on me. But that also meant so much of a change in terms of conviction, in terms of learning and relearning, unlearning and relearning, all of that. Then came certain points in time. For example, my first post-MBA organization, which was Haldia Petrochemicals, that was a project which was getting transformed into an organization. So getting an opportunity to be a part of something like this creation, transformation, and going through the entire HR gamut of SAP implementation or OD initiatives, I kind of got a taste of the entire thing within a very short span of time. And even after that, if I look at my IBM journey or Sony journey, I would say that I grew up pretty fast in the corporate career by way of the exposure that I have. Even if I look at the Sony exposure, where I was a part of your team, and the kind of opportunities that I got, I joined as a manager, I remember, but the different kinds of, be it learning interventions, operational interventions, going through the number crunching of multiple Excel sheets and all of that, going through a brilliant experience, which was getting trained as a trainer by Sony UK on something called Energy Project. So all those experiences were very rich and unique. Then came my stint as a head of HR for an IT organization. I did something which probably not too many people would do, which was a transition into the academic sector for a brief period, because I wanted to experience that world as well. And that was kind of a huge self-investment for me, that is it in me to handle a huge group of people and a huge set of topics, and every day I walk into a class with all these earnest young minds who want to know more, would I be able to live up to that expectation? So I would say there are certain things that I have done which were not very regular and usual, and then I would say I made the most of opportunities that came my way. And couple of things which probably made me what I am today. One is a huge sense of determination, that if I know that I have to do well, I have to do well. There's no two ways about it. Not giving up, no matter how down things look, but there's always a tomorrow, and hence I cannot quit. So that was a sense. So I guess few things like these here and there makes me what I am today.
No, that's beautifully put. And I think few things, that I take out from, this journey that, you explained and narrated. I think one thing, I would like to tell the viewers that, this whole conversation around, IIT, IIMs. Now, here is someone who is non-IIT, non-IIM, doing so well in life. So there is a lot of hope, right? If you are determined, if you want to achieve what you want to do in life, everything is possible. Yes, some of those batches, they help you at some point, but without that also, definitely, there's a lot that you can achieve. So that's the first thing, which I just want to tell the viewers. And I think secondly, what you said is that, taking that unconventional path, right? Not something, which is, well-defined, and that is how everybody grows, moving from industry to industry, moving to academics, doing your doctorate. And I still remember some of the conversations we used to have. That's a phenomenal thing, because, midway your career, if you decide to take a completely different route, I think, it requires some guts to do that. And then I'm so happy that, you have been able to achieve that. So that's a phenomenal journey, Rima. And I think the viewers will take a lot from it, and then they will try to implement some of the things that you have spoken about. So the other thing, my YouTube channel is, all about, the power of coaching, learning. That's what we focus on. And my whole idea is to give it back to people, whatever I know, because, since I've worked with, so many people and people like you who have achieved so much in life and career. So from your perspective, what do you think, what role coaching and learning have played in your life?
Oh, I would say immense role. The two things are different, and I will narrate one by one. When it comes to the learning part, so I think self-investment is the biggest investment that one can make. Much more important than your financial investments, because if you do this, the other thing will follow. Trying your best to excel at your art and be known for your work, your craft, that's extremely important. And if we focus on that, automatically at some stage, it does get known that here is someone who knows her job, here is someone who gets it. So that automatically gets you the recognition. And the doctorate journey that you mentioned, and I remember how much you used to encourage me for that. And I think the one thing that I noted in your leadership style and learned from you is it's all about different strokes for different folks. Would you have recommended a PhD for everybody? No. but you did that for me, possibly because you knew about my learnability or my orientation towards academics or writing or creating content for branding, etc. So that push, that encouragement, all of that helped a lot. When it comes to the coaching conversations, probably at that point in time, we didn't really term it as coaching. It was perhaps mentoring flavored with coaching at that point in time, if I look back. But some of the things that have helped me in my journey in that aspect. So I remember there was a time, sometime in 2008, when the economic meltdown had happened. And I remember we had budgetary constraints and we were not really going all out to get external trainers and facilitators to do things. And I remember you had put a target on us to say that each one of you in my team, I believe in your capabilities and you have to take a training session yourself. And it's a must, no compromise. So I remember first time when you had given that target, I was more like, oh my God, how do I do this? I'm not an extrovert. There will be butterflies in the tummy when I face people. Those were the thoughts. But probably it was your conviction which made me and some of my other colleagues achieve that impossible. And we all kind of became trainers in our own right. And of course, with time, we honed our skills. And of course, you and the organization equipped us with various things so that we can be better at that. So that pushing has become, or rather that experience has become my lifelong treasure. Because going forward, I have delved much deeper into that field. And I know myself that I'm no longer the same Rima that was there who felt that this is a push on me. Now it comes naturally to me. Now I enjoy doing it. And even I can, kind of sense how far I have come from there. So it wouldn't have been possible without that push. And also someone believing in you, trusting in you, I think that makes a world of a difference.
Absolutely. No, that's wonderfully put. So I think, and one more thing, I just want to tell the viewers that, behind every achievement, what you achieve in life, there's a lot of effort that goes in. And I've seen, Rima, what kind of effort you also used to put, and you have always been putting in there. And in fact, I just want to tell viewers also that in many places on social media, the introduction that they read about me was originally written by you. So, so just a small fact,
Actually, my work was very easy because you had such a long list of accomplishments. So it was cakewalk for me.
But I still use it. So I think that's so wonderful. And so tell me, let's just going back to, the time when, we were working together and again, planning about your career, some steps, a lot of conversations we used to have. So did you see those conversations, fructifying into something meaningful, as you moved ahead? Because it's all about, when one sits and plans these things together, you are projecting the future, right, in some manner. So I think it'll be very interesting to understand, did you see a connection, in terms of what was planned and what finally happened?
Actually, I do see that. I do see that now. And I see the word now because at that point in time, you don't realize what's happening. You just go with the flow. And then there comes a point in life when you're in a position to introspect and retrospect and all of that. So definitely it has helped in the sense that the first help was it created a lot of self-awareness. So we are all a product of our reality and our imagination. We do not get to see the lens of an outsider. So when that lens comes to us and is given to us in a very meaningful way, in a constructive way, in a way that makes you feel secure and not demean you, I think that's a big, big gift. Feedback itself, I consider that as a gift. You only give it to people who you care for. Otherwise, you don't even bother. So those areas of self-awareness happened. I had a much better understanding of what I'm good at, what I'm not so good at, the different kinds of strengths that I should be capitalizing on and leveraging. So those are things which definitely, helped me in this journey. And the other thing that helped was the fact that I knew that I had your unconditional support. I know that so many people fail in life because they do not really have that figure in their life, the figure of a mentor, a coach, some kind of a philosopher and guide in front of whom they can be themselves.
Yeah.
So I knew that you played that role. So I could be myself, open with all kinds of my vulnerabilities, my weakness, and I knew that you would not be there to judge me. You would just help me see things how they are and guide. Rima, you could do it this way and you could do it that way. So that kind of thing, that kind of help, it's very difficult to put it into words what it does for you, but it empowers you in a completely different way. One is that. The other thing is when you have good leaders around you, you learn a lot by watching them. They deal with things in different situations. How do they react? How do they conduct themselves? In one of our mentoring/coaching discussions, you had mentioned that, Rima, if you want to be somebody in your corporate career, it's also about building a persona. Which means that, taking care of yourself, the right kind of grooming, attire, personality, how you come across, being prepared for meetings, etc. So all of this actually create an image of a successful person. So those were also things which used to talk about quite a lot. I remember you have seen me go through the trials and tribulations when I was in the family way. And incidentally, that was at a time when there was a lot of pressure in office because we were doing HR software implementation for the first time. After that, of course, we did the bigger ones. But that was the first time, and that was also a very critical juncture in my career. And as you know, even the best of the professionals, even Indra Nui talks about, all these aspects of her life journey as to how difficult it can be for a woman.
Yep.
But having a pillar of support who says that, come what may, no matter how difficulties you face, I know you can do it. So that knowledge and that conviction during our conversations, they helped immensely. And I also learned that it's about enjoying what you do. If we don't enjoy what we are doing, we can't sustain that for very long. So today I do get that feeling about my work that I don't really work hard much, because whatever I'm doing, I would have done even if I had loads of money in my bank account. I would have still chosen the same journey with its fair share of bouquets and brickbats, and I would have been happy doing it. So these are some realizations that happened in the course of the journey.
No, that's excellent. And the other thing, what I have observed, what is happening today is, see, there was a time when companies used to plan your career. Companies like Hindustan Lever or some of ITC, they would invest in you and they'll grow you. But unfortunately now, with the attrition and the business environment changing, now everybody expects that, if I'm paying you, you need to deliver. And yes, some inputs I'll give you. And that's where I think, I personally feel that it's very important for today's professionals to have that support of, a sounding board or a mentor or a coach where, because see, in the West, and you handle a global responsibility, you would have seen that this is a very normal thing where, people go and seek out help.
Absolutely, yes.
Unfortunately, in India, it's still, people think that, okay, I know it all, I can manage, and they struggle. Yeah. So that is what, I've been trying to, help people and tell them that, when you are starting your career, and if you're thinking that you have to reach that CXO level, earn that 8-figure rupee salary, there has to be a plan, right? So what is your advice to such people? How do they plan out this journey?
Yeah, so I would start with one aspect, which is what's your purpose in life? The First differs from person to person. I may be interested in a corporate career where probably I end as a CHO of that organization, not necessarily CEO. But somebody else might have a different wish. Somebody might want to retire at 40 with a huge bank balance and with lots of time and energy to pursue some other hobby.
Yes.
Two is clarity of the path. What is the path that you choose for yourself? And three is having that ability to go through that path and not give up on the way. Because you have chosen a certain path for yourself, you have to tread that. I remember I was so passionate about my journey as an academician, and actually that meant a reduction of my income almost to 1/5 or 1/6. That would have been the figure.
But that's the sad part in our country.
Absolutely, but I had that plan in mind that the first and foremost thing I have to do is financial restructuring. So which means if my outflow is X today, I have to reduce it to X by 5. So that is the kind of planning that we have to do. And in order to reduce your outflow, whatever steps you have to take, you take that. You don't bat an eyelid because nobody's forcing you to do that. It's your own choice.
Yeah.
So that's something which I would definitely tell all the viewers who have that learning aptitude, that if you're clear about what you want to do in life, then be ready to go the whole 9 yards, to make that happen. And the other thing that you had mentioned, and because we are talking about a corporate context, so I remember the Harvey Coleman model, which was about PIE principle, PIE. So you were the one who had exposed me to it for the first time. And later I have used it in multiple workshops in different places. So it's not only about performance, being visible, creating that image, having that right exposure, or at least putting your hand up to say that I'm interested in so and so role. Yeah. Give me the opportunity, try me out. So these were some of the things that you had taught, I remember, and I would heavily recommend it to all those who wish to have a successful career.
No, and one thing I always tell people that, while money is always a byproduct, but I think at somewhere, you have to keep in mind that, the most important indicator of your corporate success is how much money you earn. That is one. And the second thing also, which is important, is that money can solve your problems. There is no problem if you have enough of it. So because today's, youngsters, when I speak to them and when I tell them that, see, have a desire to, reach that level where you earn an 8-figure salary, and people get scared. But, I have so many examples, of people who have worked with me, and today all of them are, sitting at CXO levels, and all of us know how much people earn at CXO levels. So, but that's one, important aspect to understand. And as you rightly said, what is your purpose, how you want to move towards it. That's very important. So that's great, So Rima, what are the 3 messages, you want to leave for viewers of this channel? 3 key things that they should follow in their career, in their life, which will probably help them reach where you are today.
Okay, so I think it will be a bit of a repetition of what I have told so far, but if I have
just to summarize,
it's way to summarize. One is, of course, know your purpose. 2 is never give up. And 3 is there is no substitute to hard work. Absolutely be prepared to work hard. In fact, today when my research papers get published and I co-authored them with some of the best known names in the industry, like my colleague who is the head of data analytics, ISI, IIT. So such kinds of people, when I work with them and do things, so there are times when people ask me, where do you get so much of time? Because you're so busy. So when do you write? When do you research? And I tell them, I toil when others sleep. So there has to be a lot of hard work involved if you genuinely have a passion for that. So these are the 3 things I would guess.
No, and just probably, you would have heard me saying this, but if you want to become successful, there has to be some amount of madness inside you.
Oh, absolutely.
Without that, and I still remember, I've seen, people like you and some of the others, working through the night and just trying to get things done, because all of us, have those 24 hours only, right? And we have to make the best out of it. And it's up to us, how we decide to spend these 24 hours. And the reality also is that in the initial parts of your career, if you don't put in that hard work, that doesn't then create the base for you, right?
Absolutely.
Because all of us, even, I remember my initial years, you would, remember, and some of the other people, also who have been a part of our tribe, we have seen all of them, right? Because if those first 10 years, if you build the right base for yourself, I think then it takes you a long way. Then it doesn't matter, your IITs and IIMs and then those kind of things. You build your own brand, and that brand takes over and it takes you to a very different level.
So true.
Yeah. And people like you, again, you become a brand, right? In a certain way, because in the market, then you are known, people reach out to you for various things. And that is where I think, I would urge the viewers of this channel also to aspire to become a brand in that manner, right? And that's very critical. So great, so thank you, Rima. Thank you for spending time. And it was such a pleasure talking to you and again, reliving some of the moments, where, we could work together. And I'm so happy to again see you where you have reached today. So all the best for your future. And thank you for being a part of this series.
Thank you so much, boss. And I wish you and the channel great success. And I hope viewers like this. And thank you for inviting me once again.
Thank you. So I'm sure you would have picked up a lot of interesting nuggets, a lot of interesting learning from the journey of Rima. What she has been able to achieve in her career, in her life, is phenomenal. And there is so much to learn from her. The way she tells about, choosing your purpose, your objective, I think that's very important. And just going after it, doing all the hard work, being a non-IIT, non-IIM person, what she has been able to achieve is clearly a clear message to all of the people, who are watching this video, that everything can be achieved if you have a desire to achieve that. So I'm sure you would have benefited from these conversations, and you will be able to apply some of the learnings in your career, in your life. So if you have liked this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your family and friends so that they also get benefited by that. And if you have any questions, any comments, anything you want to share, put them in the comment section below and I'll answer them personally. And now I'll see you in the next video. Till then, thank you very much for watching.